or trying to sell internet. It's like, you don't get your dumb ass off my porch. My apologies. So here's the part two. We're in Megan's part of the reading, and we're coming up with the same energy thus far when it comes to, somebody being upset over a situation, a possible disagreement that has to do with some adult activities, so possibly over a man, a lover. Okay, we already got that in GLO side of it. And somehow, some way, this was some kind of opportunity to, I don't know. It's like, what is this an opportunity for? Because the Three of Wands keeps popping up on both sides. Okay, so you got the Queen of Cups here and the Eight of Wands. Once again, a lot of the same dynamic. Queen of Cups here, falling under the High Priestess. So once again, that deals with, love, intuition, also somebody keeping secrets to appear to look a certain way publicly, wanting to keep a certain appearance. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got a Three of Cups here, and this is someone who, appears to, be very dependable. Makes a lot of money also off of a persona that's attached to partying. Pardon me, let me move that. Also trying to control a narrative to keep an appearance up, or to make sure that things don't get out of hand with public appearances. So it's like both of them may not ever discuss what this is really about in public, because they want to protect their brands. They don't want this situation to turn into something that could block future opportunities. Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Once again, that goes back to adult activities attached to a man. Okay. Four of Swords. So something got put to rest that had to do with a lover. And it feels like, if it was an opportunity, or, something that could have been offered, it was like, it felt like, okay, well, maybe not now, but maybe in the future type thing. Two of Pentacles may have juggled or grappled with the idea. Somebody possibly felt like somebody was going behind their back. So similar ideas, okay? Very similar ideas thus far with the energy on what could possibly be going on. Okay, a betrayal in the past. So we're getting a betrayal again in the past that's possibly got to do with a romantic entanglement. Five of Cups. So a lot of regrets attached to something that nobody wants to talk about. Like I said, lots of secretive energy attached to this situation. The Hermit and the Devil. So King of Cups. Once again, being very deep in your feelings, upset about a situation, possibly feeling like someone ghosted you, stepped away from you, um, obsessing over it even. But this is like somebody leaving someone alone because a situation is toxic. So far, I'm getting the same opportunity, same situation. Two of Pentacles, juggling and then moving forward. which should have been moving forward successfully, leaving the situation in the past. So it's like, what are the hard feelings then if the energy is similar on both sides? That this was something that could have been an entanglement, possibly an offer that turned out to not actually, you know, manifest, or somebody just decided this was something they didn't want to do. And then somebody feeling betrayed because somebody possibly went back and hollered at somebody behind their back, allegedly, because it's like somebody offered somebody a part of something, to be a part of something they didn't want it. And then there's a gray area on if somebody went behind somebody's back to talk to somebody, or maybe, the man was interested in the other party, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I could hook up with y'all together, but if not, I'm gonna still come back and holler at you. This is where it turns into a gray area. So the beginning seems to start off quite similar between the two. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. Let me see. Alrighty, we're gonna use the Intuitive Chaos Kipperish deck. And let's see where the breakdown comes between the both of them. What is the breakdown between the both of them? What's the hidden energy? What's the hidden animosity? Okay, travel, Ice Queen, ascending. So as far as what I get from GLO, it's like she just wants to move on and she wants to leave this situation. She feels like, it's above me now. I've grown out of this, or I'm, growing away from this situation. I don't want to be bothered with this. There's better things that I can do with my time. Love spell. Oh, shit. Earth angel, self-love, hold on, and abundance. So it's like, it's one of those things to where it's like, when you got ascending from a love spell, self-love, this feels like GLO got to a certain point to where, she may have been enamored at first with Megan due to the public persona of who she thought she was versus who she found her to be. And she elevated beyond that. She chose herself and chose to focus on becoming a better person and getting her money up. And that's not to say she's perfect either. It's just saying that, she just decided to move past the situation. Ritual, Jezebel. Okay, so it's like when she finally got to really know Megan as a person versus just working with her, like being cool with her, it was a shift. Conflict, what I say? Conflict over a karmic masculine. Hold on. There we go. Make sure y'all can see that. Conflict over a karmic masculine. And I use the word community. Unbothered community. She's unbothered with the situation. She see him as community pain. Like, I'm good. This ain't no big deal. I'm not about to beef with you over no dude. Like, he for everybody type energy. Ascending, evil eye. Like, okay, so I'm moving on from You side-eyeing me, hating on me, the veil. So it's like I see through all of this. I see who you really are. Distant future, bliss. So, it's like this falling under love spell. It's like, she thought that everything was going to be everything between the both of them. They were going to be besties. Everything was cool. And then it was like the more that they got to know each other, it's like, I'm good. I'm bothered. Trusted, rich girl. So she's like, look, it feels like she felt like she put more off into the equation than she should have had. I trusted the situation until, things got to switching up. And then once they got to switching up, I started to see things in a way that I didn't see them before. I don't want any parts of this. You're not who I thought you were. I wish you well. I ain't gonna say nothing on it. You don't say nothing on it. Just leave me be. Um, let's see. Alrighty. So we're gonna use. Let's see. Okay, we can use what's the gossip for Megan. Let's see what her side of this equation is. Show me Megan's side of this. What's the part that we don't see? What's the part that we don't see? Okay, hopeless romantic, believing in fairy tales, idolizing love, constantly waiting, forever dreaming. Now, it's kind of weird that you see this chick here watching these two people on TV, wishing that was her. Bottom of the deck, two-faced it. Says one thing, does another, betrayal, hidden kindness, pretends loyalty, trust carefully. This almost feels like what Kalan said to EJ. Cuffing season. So we got somebody hopeless romantic to cuffing season. Temporary relationships, seasonal companionship, short-term warmth until spring. Okay, wow. Catfish is at the bottom of the deck. Pretending to be someone else online, fake profile, deceptive image or images, not who you think I am. Wow. Okay, so that's interesting because we got GLO seeing through the veil, finding out you're not who she thought you were, finding out that, the person or the persona is totally different. The illusion wearing off, her ascending from the situation, just wanting to move on. You go your way, I go mine. Let's let this be. And then now we got the energy over here of someone being a hopeless romantic, living through someone vicariously, getting in a relationship, but always in short-term relationships that don't last, and being the complete opposite of what they appear to be online. Inner child. Healing inner child wounds, reconnecting with joy, playfulness, restored, return to innocence. Okay. So there's some things that, Megan either needs to heal from or she's learning to heal from as far as childhood wounds. Okay, so this feels like abandonment issues because here we go. We got ghosted at the bottom of the deck. Sudden disappointment without explanation, left hanging, seen but ignored, abrupt silence. So Glow may have gotten to a point where she ghosted Meg and it triggered her because she has abandonment issues. She doesn't like for people to, you know, pretty much bust a jug on her, disappear. Um, but it feels like Glow may have disappeared because she found out that she didn't really amount to who or what she thought she was or what she thought this was going to be. Bounce back, resilient after setback, recovering quickly, determination to rise again, can't keep me down. Shocking, you won't believe this story, clickbait, misleading headlines, empty promises, exaggerated truths, not what it seems. Wow. So this is the part that, where it separates between the two, because even in the oracles, Glow's energy pretty much stays consistent. It stays the same, not much changes. Now, Megan's energy switches up because it more so lines up with how Glow feels about Meg, which is kind of interesting. Is there anything about Glow that we need to know? Wake up call, spiritual awakening, sudden clarity, urgent awareness, can't ignore anymore. So, okay, so it's like Glow leveled up. She didn't expect Glow to move the way she moved after they separated, and it was a wake up call for Megan. Lesson learned, wisdom gained, completing cycles, grow through experience. I'm wiser now. So it's like Meg thought she had the upper hand in this relationship. She got triggered by, possibly getting ghosted by Glow. Glow was like, look, I don't like the way this feel. I don't like the way this look. This ain't really my cup of tea, so I'm out. And for Megan, it's like, she when she latches onto people, no matter what, it 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 throws her off. It shifts her whole axis if things turn in a way that she doesn't expect. And the way that Glow bounced back after, not dealing with her, not talking to her, moving on about her way was a wake up call for her that she didn't need her the way she thought she did. Lesson learned. Okay, why is this a lesson learned? Why is this a lesson learned? Let it go. Releasing grudges, emotional freedom, forgiving yourself and others, free your heart. CEO energy, taking control, natural leadership, confidence in business. I'm the boss. So, let it go, hopeless romantic. So, it feels like she was trying to hold on to this situation, thinking that eventually things were going to work out in a certain way, and they didn't. Eventually, she got to let it go, focus on work, moving up, that boss girl energy, cuffing season, past life. And it says, previous connections, unexplained familiarities, soul memories, I've known you before. So, what this feels like to me is up under the temporary relationships is like, this is like a cycle, and she goes through these cycles of what seems like forever relationships, forever friendships. They don't work out. It triggers childhood wounds of abandonment, and then it's like, okay, well, I bounce back. It's a wake up call, and then she ends up in this same cycle all over again. And damn it, I didn't even see this. Breaking cycles, ending harmful patterns, freedom from repetition, new beginnings. It stops with me. So she's got to stop expecting the same thing out of everyone that she comes across. Not everybody's going to be a forever person. Not everybody's here to hurt you. Not everybody is your past experience. You have to grow from what you've been through, heal from what you've been through, but not expect everybody to be, you know, who you've experienced and what you've experienced in the past. Childhood, inner childhood. Soul contract, fated connection, karmic relationships, spiritual agreements destined to meet. So she's got to understand that she's the one that aligns herself for these types of cycles, these types of relationships, and she does it out of what could possibly be childhood wounds. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, and here it is, triggered. Emotional reaction, unresolved wounds, facing past hurts. Why does this bother me? Because it's once again it's a childhood wound that has to be healed. She has to learn to grow beyond the abandonment issues. Me versus me, self competition, personal growth, becoming better than yesterday, my only competition. Bounce back. So this is like, you know, conquering inner demons. Okay, wake up call. Give me a wake up call. Okay, behind the mask. So conquering inner demons, hidden emotions, concealing true self, afraid to show reality. No one sees the real me. And this is what, you know, Glow's energy was giving me. Like, I realized I didn't know the real you, and when I got to know you, I got to learn more about you. I realized I didn't care for the person that I ended up meeting because it did not, you know, line up with the person I thought you were. Wake up call, fake flex, pretending wealth, showing off borrowed luxuries, deceptive bragging, rich on Instagram, broke in real life. Wake up call. Wow. Speak up. Expressing needs, defending yourself, courage to confront your voice matters. So that's interesting because it's like you're having a wake up call, fake flex. That's literally, you know, that whole, you know, I have to appear a certain way, I have to look a certain way, I have to be a certain way. And it's like realizing that trying to be what you think everybody wants you to be is not getting you anywhere. And she's having a wake up call about that. Situational single, temporary loneliness, choosing solitude, waiting for better, not settling, let go. So that's something that she, once again, if there are abandonment issues allegedly, she has to get comfortable with learning to be by herself, because it's like attaching yourself to people out of fear of being alone causes all types of problems, because none of the relationships last. You see cuffing season, temporary relationship, seasonal companionship, short-term warmth until the spring. And this is just a cycle that repeats. Like eventually the situations crash out. You become whatever you think that person wants or needs you to be, and you can only do that for so long, and then the bottom falls out, and then it doesn't work. So it's the same thing. Love relationships, friendships, she's got to get more comfortable with who she is as a person versus who she wants people to believe she is. Okay, so you got the glow up, and notice this person is glowing up, but this is the person in the mirror. So why is the glow up not matching the person in the mirror? Self-improvement, finding confidence, personal transformation better than ever. But your reflection doesn't match you. So it's like, fixing the outside doesn't fix the inside. It just makes you present better. Brand new. Okay, so fresh new beginnings, reinventing yourself, new ventures, watch me shine. So her way of working on herself is working on her appearance, but she has to work on the inside just as well as the outside, or work on the inside more than the inside. Ghosted. And that goes back to what I said about the childhood triggers here. Notice it's like you keep seeing her with mirrors. Here's her in the mirror as a child, and then there's her. You got to glow up with her in the mirror. You got me versus me with the person in the mirror. So see how all of these cards talk about, the reflection of who she is versus who she projects herself to be. Person versus persona, all these different mirrored images. Ghosted. Sudden disappearance without explanation, left hanging, seen but ignored, abrupt silence. That goes back to, the energy that I got from alleged childhood wounds, from abandonment issues. Divine timing, patience required, trusting the process, perfect timing when it's meant to be. So she has to understand that you can't force things. Things are going to work out in due timing. It's always best to let things work out when they're supposed to. And then you see divine timing here, and then boom, wake up call, fake flex. And it's like she's going into what's like a wake up call, because it's forcing her into seeing that, the projection of who she is versus who she really is not aligning. You got side piece here, secretly. What is this sticking out? Clickbait. So hold on. Fake flex, spilled tea, secrets exposed, gossip spreading, leaked information. Oops, it's out. So she's going to have a wake up call once some information ends up getting exposed about her. And it's going to be a harsh realization, and it's coming soon. Anything else left? There we go. Lesson learned. Life lesson. So it's going to be something that's going to literally shake her whole existence to core, and it's going to be a hard lesson learned about, being true to yourself and not trying to be what you want people to think that you are versus being comfortable with who you really are. And a lot of people, have that issue to where they feel like they must project or perform a certain way to be accepted. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, people that love you, people who really want to be around you, they're going to love the real you, no matter what. Money or no money, attractive or not attractive. People who really rock with you are going to rock with you for the long haul. They're not going to, switch up on you just because, things are, in that place where it's like, well, today you're hot, tomorrow you're not type energy. So, how can someone support you, be there for you, if they don't know the real you? They don't get to learn the real you. They don't get to, love the you that really makes you who you are. So this is part 2 of Meg versus GLO. Who's the real wannabe? I'll leave it up to you guys to decide that for yourself. Thank you for your viewership and support. And hopefully the next time I'm doing one of these lives so that I can get it up for you, I won't have anybody beating on my door trying to sell me stuff. But thank you. And y'all have a good day. And I'll get back to you in the next go round. Till next time, y'all. Bye bye.